Hi everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new here. Welcome back if you're a returning viewer or subscriber. Yesterday was a very exciting day because we hit... Yesterday? No, 2 days ago was a very exciting day because we hit 2,000 subscribers, which has been a long time coming, but it was just like, I know I'm never going to be able to convey it in this video, but it does truly mean the world to me. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. I did like a little community post and I said every single day I'm grateful for you, but particularly at the moment I just feel so happy to be here. Basically, it's only a small little milestone in the grand scheme of things, so I haven't like prepared some massive thing, but I did want to kind of mark the occasion, and I thought I could do that by filming a video where I tier ranked every single book I've ever given 5-star. That sounds like an enormous amount, but actually, if you know me, if you know my channel, if you've been around these parts for a little bit, you would know that I literally never give 5-star. Last year I think I had 2, and this year I've had about 4, but I've read a lot more than I read last year. Yeah, so they're a rare occurrence. So I thought we'd go through all of them and I'd be able to kind of talk a little bit why I like them. You know, you could see the passion radiating off me. I eventually really want to do a video where I sit down and I talk you through every single one of my favourite books. But I know that that's gonna have to be filmed on a day where I'm feeling like extremely eloquent, which is a very rare occasion for me. So I thought that I would kind of be able to highlight some favourite reads and show you guys what they are, but also not have to really go in depth about how I feel about them. Point out which ones they are in case anyone's curious. It could be a fun little way to mark 2,000 subscribers. So I've already created my tier list, the website called tiermaker.com. I'm going to try and screen record. I haven't done this in a while, so let's hope this is possible. New screen recording. Right, are we going? Record. Okay, this is what my tiers look like. I've got 5 of them in total. They're very basic in terms of the names, in terms of what they mean, but we can very quickly run through them. I mean, they're quite self-explanatory. The first category is 6-star. These are just the books that are like the top of the top books that like I would give 6 stars to if 6 stars was a thing. The most superior books I've ever read in my life, and I have like a personal connection with them. All around perfection. Then we've got so close. So close means it's so close, you know, it's so good, but it's not quite like 6-star territory. Solid is just like, I fully agree with my rating of a 5-star, but I don't think it's like the best book I've ever read, but I also don't think it's one that I'm like questioning like why I possibly rated it a 5-star. Need a reread. Books that I read a long time ago or even recently, I just feel like I could do with a reread because I'm not sure whether they would kind of like hold up or stand the test of time. They might be 4 or 4.5 stars, or they could just be 5 stars. They just need like a refresher to see actually still mean 5-star. Grasping. These are books that I don't really know what I was thinking when I gave them 5-star. I feel like nowadays if I reread them they would not be 5 stars. That's our scale of things. Let's get going. I put these in an order. The way that the program's kind of inputted them has meant that they've scrambled, which actually is probably better because we can kind of just go through in a random order and not have all of my 6 stars first or whatever. So the first book I have is My Family and Other Animals. This is a book that I read for school when I was 13, 14. At the time I really didn't like it. I was just bored by it, and then I reread it years later when I was 16, 17, and I loved it. I actually read the entire Corfu trilogy because this is the first book in like a little series of non-fiction-y kind of books about this boy growing up on the island of Corfu. Beautiful, so descriptive and stunning, and yeah. But even though I have reread these once in my life, I haven't read them in a very long time. So I feel like this, where am I going to put this? I think this is going to go in So Close. And maybe while we're here, we'll do the rest of the books in this series. And I think I'm going to move them all into the same category. I reread the first book, and then I read the second and third for the books for the first time, like back to back. And I felt similarly about every single one of them. So let's see. It's My Family and Other Animals, then it's Birds, Beasts and Relatives, and then The Garden of the Gods. Alright, next we have Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre is a book that I read when I was 16 or 17. There's an aeroplane. I studied it in school and I loved it so much. I never remember feeling like particularly excited about it. I just felt like this book is so good, there's not a single thing I'd change within it. So it got the 5-star because it was just, you know, there was nothing I could fault it on. But I think that it didn't have that spark, it didn't have that 6-star spark. So I think we're going to put this in So Close. The Hunger Games. This is a series that I read when they first all came out, and I love these books so much. They were just everything to me. Then I actually reread The Hunger Games 9 years after I'd first read it, and I ended up giving it a 5-star. It was the easiest 5-star, and I was just like, these books, while they do have a nostalgia element, they are so good. Even if I was reading them for the first time and I hadn't grown up with them and I didn't know about the films or whatever, I would still give these a 5-star. They're so good. So I reread the first one, so that's definitely going in. Actually, okay, we'll put it next to Jane Eyre because I don't think it's a 6-star. It's just like, it's so good, but it's not like, I don't know, that's a tough one. That would go in like an in-between category if I could. In terms of the sequels, I definitely need a reread. I think they'd still hold up pretty strong because I felt the first one did. I remember really enjoying Catching Fire particularly, but yeah, we'll put them in need a reread. I need to do a bunch of rereads already. Next, we have The Importance of Being Earnest. This is a play. I studied this one again, but I studied it when I was 20 and I loved it. It's played by Oscar Wilde. He was an absolute literary genius, and this book is so funny. It's so engaging. The characters are fantastic. Like, all around, you know what, 6 star. It's a play, and I haven't actually put any other plays here. Maybe there's not any that I've rated 5 star, but either way, this play is just like probably my favorite. The first being a wallflower. I'm gonna put this in, oh, it's either solid or it's grasping. No, I'm gonna put it in solid. It's a really, really good book. It's kind of a coming of age story with some kind of deeper, darker themes, and the protagonist Charlie is just an absolute sweetheart. I cried multiple times reading this book, and I read it kind of a lot later than most of my peers did, but I still thought it was beautiful. So good. And then we have the book Thorns and Roses. We've got the entire series here. We've got the first book, the second book, and then the third book. The first book is everything and more to me. Like, it's so... I feel like for most people the first book is a little bit mid, and then the second and the third are like where it really gets going. The best read to them. From literally the end of the first page, I was already sold in the Thorns and Roses series, and yeah, so 6 star, 6 star, 6 star. I love the series so much. It's my entire heart and soul. Okay, I'm not sure whether I preferred A Court of Wings and Ruin more than A Court of Mist and Fury, but I don't know. Like, by the time I got to Akabor, I was so obsessed with the characters that like I was a little bit biased in my rating. So maybe Akamath is the superior one, but I don't know. We can't say. Wrapped in the Dawn, grasping. I mean, I do need a reread as well, but I feel like if I was rating books the way I am now, this wouldn't have been a 5 star. I don't know, like, it's just, you know. And again, the same thing. I'm gonna put Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, what's got the title, which is the third Harry Potter book, in grasping as well, because it was a really good, solid book, but I really do think it's more of like a 4.5. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, solid 5 star read. This book is so far superior to the film. The film adaptation was actually intended to be a 2-part thing. You know how we've got like part 1 of Deathly Hallows and part 2 of Deathly Hallows? That's what they wanted for book 4, and they decided against it, which meant that they had to cut tons of the book's material because they couldn't fit it all in one film. So you just get everything that you didn't get in the book, and it's great. I had such a happy, fun time reading that. It was amazing. I just remember it as being like a bit of a happy time in my life. You know the vibe. Okay, Six of Crows. I need a reread again. I read these like 2018, 2019 time, and I love them so much. Actually, you know what? I prefer Crooked Kingdom. Again, it could just be because the characters have really grown on me, but I did marginally prefer Crooked Kingdom. So I think we'll do Six of Crows, So Close, and we'll do Crooked Kingdom, 6 star. This series is amazing, and I'm so kind of disappointed in the TV series. I actually have a sticker on my Kindle that says No Mourners, No Funerals, which is obviously the quote from the series. I bought it because I was obsessed with the book since before the TV series came out, and then the TV series came out, and I was just like, people are now going to look at my Kindle and they're going to be like, she loves the TV show, but no I don't. It's the books. Okay, The Cruel Prince. Again, people say like the series really gets going in kind of the Wicked King or like the very end of the Cruel Prince, but it's a similar situation to The Court of Thorns and Roses. I was just 100% like not at all influenced by anyone I heard talking about the book, and I loved it immediately from the get-go. So The Cruel Prince is a 6 star, so is Wicked King, and The Queen of Nothing is grasping, because by that point I was just obsessed with the story and I just couldn't bring myself to give it a lower rating, but it did not deserve a 5 star, I don't think. I feel like it's a 4. Letters to a Young Poet is beautiful. This is a kind of non-fiction exchange of letters between Rilke, the amazing writer and poet, and an aspiring poet. So he was kind of like mentoring and coaching in writing and art and creativity and everything like that. It's beautiful, it's such an encouragement. But I did debate giving it a 4.5 at the time. No, I think we're gonna put it in solid. It's just beautiful. I really would recommend it. I think anyone who's interested in anything creative, whether that's painting or music or writing, anything, any creative pursuit. The Idiots, immediate 5 star, like 6 star. What am I even talking about? It's so good. I actually would say in this current moment, The Idiot is my favourite book of all time. She definitely belongs up there. Seven Husbands of Hugo. See, I need a reread, but like by the time I finished this book, it was definitely a 6 star. But then I also read Malibu Rising a couple of years later, and I think I might have preferred Malibu Rising more than I did The Seven Husbands of Hugo. But like at the same time, but did I? Or did I just leave too long between so that it got confusing? No, I read Seven Husbands of Hugo so quickly, and it was just like, I was obsessed with that story. Seven Husbands, 6 star. Malibu Rising, so close. Maybe we'll do some ordering within these at the end, because I feel like that does deserve to be like at the top part here. Thunderhead is a sequel to Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This book blew my mind. It was kind of sitting at like a 4 or 4.5 throughout most of the book, and the ending, everything just came together, and it was the most spectacular sequel. It's probably my favourite sequel I've read in terms of books where I haven't enjoyed the first book as much. So I think we're going to put this in so close, because it was not a 5 all the way through, but although maybe I don't know. You know what? Again, it's like upper part of the so close category. The Muse. Need a reread. I really enjoyed this at the time. It's historical fiction set around the Spanish Civil War. It is kind of like airport fiction, you know. I did buy it in the supermarket, it's that kind of vibe. So I think, you know, on the reread, I'm not sure that I would enjoy it as much, but I remember at the time having a fun time and it was good vibes all around. I think I read that a little bit before I'd kind of really got into reading, so maybe it's one of those. The Great Gatsby is a 6-star read. Beautiful. So good. And again, this is one I could probably do with rereading, but I've rewatched the film recently, and also someone very close to me read this book for the first time and took me through their experience of reading it. All the quotes, everything just came right back to me, and I just know for certain, like, even if I was to reread this, it would just be 6-star. So good. Normal People by Sally Rooney, again, is a 6-star read. Read this super quickly, connected with it on a completely different level to how I have with kind of anything else I've read, particularly anything else with that contemporary kind of romance genre, that kind of lit fic, that thing. Last year my 2 5-star reads were The Idiot and Normal People, and I think they deserve to be up there. By the way, it looked like I've got a lot of 6 stars, but that's because, like I said, when I give a 5-star, like, it's an amazing book. Like, it has to be almost perfection, so it makes sense that there are a lot of them up there. Pan's Labyrinth, The Labyrinth of the Fawn is a book that I actually received an ARC for by Bloomsbury. Very kindly, they gifted it to me. I'd seen the film, loved it. I read the book. It was just an extremely emotional journey. Like, even though I knew what was going to happen, my heart was still torn out of me. This is so beautiful. It's like a magical realism, historical fiction set during World War II? World War One? Which one is it? I don't know. Yeah, beautiful story. Definitely worth the read or the watch. The book is kind of as beautiful as the film. I think both are valuable in their own right because they kind of fill in the gaps that the other one leaves open. So I think I'm going to put this in solid. Everything I Never Told You broke my heart. Another book that made me sob. I read this via audiobook, and I never kind of get emotionally invested when I read an audiobook, but this audiobook tore my heart out. It was such a beautiful story. Such a good book. I read it in the same year as Thunderhead, and I definitely preferred Thunderhead over this, but it was pretty close. Okay, I think I'll put it in so close. Sweet Cute Grasping. This was my favourite YA contemporary book until I read Better Than the Movies, and I was like, Better Than the Movies is superior to this. So Better Than the Movies, solid. Sweet Cute Grasping. It's probably more of a 4.5 now I'm thinking about it, but I did have a very good time. They are my top 2 favourite contemporary romance books, like for YA, so I would recommend them both. I think they're both top tier reads, but I do have a favourite within them. Hood, again, is Grasping. I got an ARC of this as well, and I just read it during that 2020 period, and I had such a fun time reading it. It was so good, but at the same time I feel like it is probably more of a 4.5. I think I was a little bit generous with my rating just because I was just having fun and I scored an ARC of a book that I really wanted to read, so you know the vibe. Simple Passion is a 6-star read. It's so beautiful, such a good story. I haven't actually included any other non-fiction on this list other than that. Or I guess the Rilke one kind of is, but this one reads like fiction, which is why it's there. But I have neglected books like Jane Birkin's diaries and things like that, just because I feel like it's not fair to list non-fiction up against fiction, if that makes any sense. Maybe that's just a little theory in my head that's completely wrong, but whatever. Revolutionary Road was my #1 favourite book of all time, and then I haven't read it since I was 17, and so I feel like it can't hold that place anymore. I did love it. I don't know whether to put it on. No, I'm gonna put in Need a Reread. I really don't know how I feel about this book, and actually that segues perfectly into the next thing I have to say, that I am planning on doing a reread of Jane Eyre, Revolutionary Road, and The Great Gatsby. Those 3 books for certain. They were my top 1, 2, 3 books kind of from when I was about 18 onwards, and I really don't know how I feel about any of them, but I wanted to do a video where I kind of reread all of them or one of them and we go through that process, because I feel like it could be fun to like see how my thoughts and feelings have changed just through having grown up a little bit and having read more books. So for now that's there. Fourth thing is the most recent book that I gave 5 stars. This is either solid or it's Grasping, because it was like a 4.75, but I don't rate in 4.75s, but it was more than a 4.5. Maybe because I have trepidation, I should put it in Grasping. That feels... You know what, it's okay. It's fine. I still stand by it being a 5-star read. It's just nowhere near a 6, if that makes sense. It's closer to a 4.5 than it is a 6-star read. I think it's fine being a 5. So there you go. There's my list. There are my books in order. I'm going to quickly run through all of these and rank them, and I'll get back to you with my final rankings. I think that's right for the top tier. I think. Okay. I'm gonna move Jane Eyre to need a reread, but I think it's not gonna drop. I just feel like I'm gonna be able to place it better. Comparing it to the books and so close, I just feel like it doesn't quite fit. I think that's okay. I'm gonna leave the needs a reread category because they all need a reread, so I can't really fight with them. Also, I'm sorry about the lighting. The weather is horrible outside. We've fully entered autumn. Why can't you see? So there you have it, everybody. Those are my final rankings. It's annoying how there's a book on a second row. We can't do anything about that. But yeah, that's how I feel about all the books I've ever given 5 stars. I'm really hoping we're gonna have more of them in the future because we don't nearly have enough. But I also love how I can kind of like see them all on one screen. I can like recall them better than I could if I just given like every second book I read 5 stars. I want to get to a point where I'm like, I'm so certain that it's a 5-star when I rate it. You know, I feel like we're getting better. I love how I'm saying that, and the last book I read was Fourth Wing, and then I put that in the grasping category. But you know what I mean. I'm happy with this. Oh my gosh, I thought I'd lost my screen recording. Imagine. Okay, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that gave you a little idea as to what books I love the most in the world. Books that I connected with personally, but also books that I 100% recommend to you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you are a subscriber, if you want to join the rest of us over here, you're welcome to subscribe down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, because that's how I can tell that you did. And I'll see you in a couple of days for another video. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world. It truly does. I think about it constantly. I think about YouTube constantly. I think about this channel constantly. I think about you guys constantly. I find it frustrating like sitting down and not being able to convey how much I kind of think about it and how much it means, because it truly is just everything. It's my favorite thing to do in the world. I love it more than almost everything, and I can't see myself stopping anytime soon, so you're stuck with me, okay? I'll see you soon. Bye bye.